So what we'll discuss is Aura component life cycle. So interview question, like this is interview perspective. This is very important. Otherwise, it is not that much. Okay. So what is Aura component life cycle? Okay. So normally whenever the component is loading, first what will execute? Whenever the component loads, if you want to call init.
Handler init.
Init is nothing but what, madam? It's like the same like a constructor. Correct?
Constructor.
So whenever the component is loading, if you want to call immediately something, what you can do? You can do is a init. So then there is something called render. So after init, what will execute? Render. Render అంటే is before loading component. అంటే మన UI display అవ్వక ముందు. For example, before displaying this UI, so some UI will come, right? So before displaying that UI, if you want to perform something before displaying this UI, what will execute? What will execute? Render will execute. So, and before rendering your component, you want to perform some action. Where you can do that action? In the render.js. Okay. Then, after render, what is after render is? After component displayed UI. Before displaying UI, what will execute? Render. After this UI is displayed, what is this? What will execute? After render. Okay. Then we have something called re-render. Normally in VA pages we have something called re-render, right? VA page lo re-render untadi. Anyone knows what is re-render?
To refresh
To refresh particular page, particular part in the page, particular part in the page, we can use a re-render. Correct? So similarly in the lightning component also, what is re-render JavaScript will execute is, okay, whenever you are modifying something in the UI. For example, I am clicking this button, something is changing here, right? Something you are changing, or some events you are clicking buttons, then automatically which one will execute? Re-render will execute. Okay. And another one is unrender. What is the last one? Unrender. So when this unrender will execute, for example, assume in this page there are two components. Okay. This is component 2. Okay. And complete the another one is component 1. In the component 1, I am calling component 2. Okay. I am displaying this component 2 based on some condition. For example, employee age is more than 18, display this one. Okay. If employee age is below 18, what I have to do? I want to destroy. I want to skip it. So like this. So what is normal unrendering? In case if any component destroyed అంటే స్టాప్ చేసామనుకో UI లో, you are like stopping that UI, then automatically which one will execute? Unrender. అంటే this is component life cycle. It will be there in the background, మనకు తెలియదు. Okay. So where we can see all this render is here. You can see this is render. So this render JavaScript also have some default methods. Okay, what are those default methods? Render, after render, re-render, then unrender. So first entry constructor will execute. Then before loading UI, render. After loading UI, after render, something you are clicking button, some changing you are doing something, then what will happen? Re-render. If something is like deleted, destroyed UI, then what will happen? Unrender. So ఇది ఒక life cycle in Aura. Okay. Nowadays no one is asking, but still you remember all these steps. మనం ఒక చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూద్దాం one by one, like ఎలా ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది. In the component bundle we know all everything, right, except render. అంతే కదా, కాంపోనెంట్ బండిల్ లో మనకు అవి తప్ప అన్ని తెలుసుగా. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ we can create one simple Aura component. Sample component 1. So we know automatically by default which one will execute first? Init. That we know already. So simple గా ఒక attribute క్రియేట్ చేద్దాం. Just create some attributes. Attributes. Oh my god. So attributes. First, you can declare some attributes in the UI. Okay. Simple, I'll create one attribute. I'm going to put in the pet attribute SES hyphen attribute. Yeah. Our attribute name I can give a message. Type anything. String. In default, you can give Bahubali 1. Okay. Bahubali part 1. Bahubali 1. No problem. So now we can create a handlers constructor. Syntax anything.
Aura handler and
name value
Render
action
name is equal to
And
is equal to
Value is equal to this and
or a handler
and name you can
value
value
is equal
to
to
init.
correct.
Yes, sir.
Handler. ఒక చిన్న బాక్స్ we can create HTML marker. Okay. So markup, create one div. And create one box. SLS. SLS box. Message. What is the initial message we have? We dot
message.
message. That's it. Okay. ఇది ఒక చిన్న కాంపోనెంట్. So now we can understand one by one flow. First, what will execute? Do we need in the JS? Okay. So here I'll execute a simple alert console message. So not log. So first, init will execute. Same execute అవుతుంది init. So then what I can do, I'll change that Bahubali 1 to Bahubali 2. ఎలా చేంజ్ చేయొచ్చు?
component
Component.
So component
dot set.
set
Here this is Bahubali 1.
we dot
So within the
we dot search.
Bahubali.
What I have to do now? Change
Bahubali.
name
Bahubali.
Bahubali 2.
to. Yeah. Okay. So first, whenever the component is loading, first what will execute? Do init will execute. That we know.
Control.
Okay. After init, what will execute?
Render.
Render.
Render. So where we can see the render? You know all the everything, documentation, component, CSS, design, SVG, JS, helper, you know. What is left one? Render.
Render.
So here you can control the life cycle of for a component. Like before loading, what you have to do. After loading, what you want to do. You want to perform something. Then you can use this one. So render. So we have to use a render method. Okay, how we have to use the render method is, I'll just that code. So render. So this render function will execute. When it will execute? Before
Before UI.
loading UI of your component. So render function. So here you can give a MPONENT. So what this render function will do is, before loading component, you want to do something change. You want to perform something change. You want to do some actions. Okay. So first time అవుతుంది init execute అవుతుంది. init లో ఏం చేస్తున్నాం మనం? Bahubali 1 to
Bahubali 1 to
Bahubali
Bahubali
2.
2.
Bahubali 2.
After init what will execute? Render will execute.
Render.
So render lo what you can do? You can do something before. There is a something called this dot super render method. We have to use this method. Before we have to return this method. Before loading UI, you want to do any other actions. In case anything change, you want to change. You can change. Example at example, I'll take a component. Okay. So here I can, what is I'm calling here? Helper method. What is the helper method name? Change value.
Change value.
So change value, right? So what I can do is I can open helper here. What is the helper name? Change value.
Oh.
See, change value, what I have to do? I want to change again Bahubali 2 to Bahubali 3. Em cheyali?
Bahubali 2 to
Bahubali 2 to Bahubali 3. So that you can understand the flow. Flow ఎలా ఉంటుంది మీకు అట్లీస్ట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది. ఇక్కడ కాంపౌండ్ పాస్ చేయాలి. హెల్పర్ లైక్ ఏం పాస్ చేస్తారు? పారామీటర్ కాంపోనెంట్. ఇక్కడ ఏం చేయాలి? వి డాట్ మెసేజ్
Total.
Change the Bahubali.
సో ఫస్ట్ init will execute, then it will execute. సో దెన్ ఇక్కడ ఏం చేద్దాం? Bahubali 2 to 3. Just that. We'll see at least what will execute now. So first init, second ఏంటి?
Render.
Render will execute. We'll see now. Just we can second render will execute. Just one before loading component. Okay. Once the component is loaded, which one will execute? After component
Re-render.
loaded. After render. Which one? After render.
After render.
Re-render will execute whenever you are doing some event, clicking
Some-
button, changing value. Ala. So what will execute, madam? After render will execute framework. After render function is changing on already created component. Okay, example. After render, nothing is there. This is re-render. After render is not there. We can call just the same code here. After render. What's the name? After
Render.
render. Here super after render. We should follow some exact names. ఇదేంటి థర్డ్ ఇమేజ్ ఉంటుంది ఆఫ్టర్ render will execute. I don't want to do anything now. Just I'll leave it blank now. Console message return this dot super after render. ఏంటి super after render. Okay. Is awesome there. So now we can see how the flow will go. Just ఇది ఇంటర్ పరంగా ఇంపార్టెంట్. Like what is the RA component life cycle అంటే you should remember all this. So మనం now we can just test this component. How we can test this component? Just app open చేసి so comment this code. What is the component name? C colon
Sample component render. Sample component.
sample component 1 ఇదేనా?
Yes.
CMP.
CMP sir.
CMP render.
This is because we have not deployed కదా అందుకని కనిపించట్లేదు. Why is not displaying? Showing? ఇప్పుడు సరే ట్రై చేయండి. ఇప్పుడు కనిపిస్తుంది లేదా?
పైన
SAMPLE.
అదే థర్డ్
Third one.
Deploy this source to R. So very important RR life cycle ఇది. Okay, not LWC. RR. RR in LWC also same thing. Refresh the page. Why Bahubali 3 is coming?
ఆఫ్టర్ రెండర్
After render.
So first open console log. First image good అయింది.
ఇనిట్
Init.
Second,
రెండర్
Render.
so in the render what we are doing? So first ఇందులో ఏం చేసాం మనము యాక్చువల్గా
Message.
బాహుబలి 1 to బాహుబలి 2 చేంజ్ చేసాం.
Let to message.
Yes or no?
Yes.
So in the init what we did is బాహుబలి 1 to బాహుబలి 2. తర్వాత ఇందులో తర్వాత ఏం ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయింది?
రెండర్
రెండర్లో ఏం చేసాం మళ్ళీ హెల్పర్ కాల్ చేసి హెల్పర్ లో మళ్ళీ మనం బాహుబలి 2 to 3. దెన్ ఆఫ్టర్ రెండర్ వాట్ విల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్? రెండర్ తర్వాత ఆఫ్టర్ రెండర్ విచ్ వన్ థర్డ్ ఆఫ్టర్ రికార్డ్ రెండర్ విల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్. అర్థమవుతుందా ఫ్లో హౌ ఇట్ ఇస్ గోయింగ్ నౌ?
Yes.
ఇన్నిట్ విల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్, సెకండ్ రెండర్ విల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్, థర్డ్ ఏంటి ఆఫ్టర్ రెండర్ విల్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ ఆఫ్టర్ లోడింగ్ ద కాంపోనెంట్. Then when will render will execute?
Some actions we can change.
Whenever you
Some
doing some action
modification.
in the UI, kada? So for example, we try to do now some changes in the UI. ఏం చేద్దాం? So బాహుబలి 2 to బాహుబలి 4 చేంజ్ చేద్దాం దీన్ని. So lightning, my God. Lightning button brand. Okay, label I can give a submit. Title anything you can give here. Handle submit. ఏదైనా నేమ్ ఇచ్చేసుకోవచ్చు, నో ప్రాబ్లం. Then in handle submit what you can do? Controller. Is this controller? Yes. Handle submit ఏం చేద్దాం మనం? ఏం చేయాలి? ఏం చేయాలి హ్యాండిల్ సబ్మిట్ లో? బాహుబలి 3 to బాహుబలి 4. Okay. So this is సరే మళ్ళీ నా ఆఫీస్ పని చేస్తున్నా. ఓకే, సో హ్యాండిల్ submit will execute. Okay, handle submit will execute. ఏం చేస్తాం handle submit లో? What will happen? Changing some. So we are doing some event, right? We are clicking button.
Yes, sir.
So whenever you are doing some events or whenever something is changed in the component level, what will execute here? Render lo. So will execute re-render. Which one is good? Re-render. So this will take this re-render concept here. So if you observe here, for each method we have a super method. Okay, we should use that method if you want to do any changes before re-render. Okay, so re-render, this is dot super re-render. After render, this dot super after render. Before that you want to do anything, you can do it here. So before rendering, you want to do anything, you can do it here. You can perform some actions in the life cycle before all those things. Okay. The next entity.
Unrender.
First we'll discuss about a re-render. Re-render, render will execute epudu whenever something is you are changing or you are doing something. So I can give now this one name is example. I'll give 4th place. Antega. or something you can change also, not exactly fourth place. Whenever something you are changing, correct? Whenever something is changing, what will happen? Re-render will happen.
Re-render.
Okay. We'll try now. It will work or not. What we are changing now? By clicking button, we are changing Bahubali 3 to
3 to
Bahubali 4.
Bahubali 4. So, click చేసిన ఏం ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది? Re-render will execute. Yes, we'll try now. So, let's and we have to deploy component also, right? Component also we should deploy. So first init, second render, third after coming UI, after render. Now if we do any changes, if I click this button, what we're doing?
Changes.
re-render.
This Bahubali 3 to Bahubali 4 will come.
4.
Yes.
So handle submit is executing. Then fourth image would end month.
Re-render.
Re-render.
When this render will execute, whenever we're doing some changes in the component, UI level, anything, render will execute. So then last one anything?
Unrender.
Unrender.
Unrender will execute when
If
something
the component
you
you want to
delete or destroy.
delete or destroy. Okay.
Destroy.
సో మనం ఏం చేద్దామంటే ఒక చిన్న కాంపోనెంట్ క్రియేట్ చేద్దాం, జస్ట్ ఫర్ టెస్టింగ్ పర్పస్. కాంపోనెంట్ ఏం చేద్దామంటే, ఓకే, శాంపుల్ కాంపోనెంట్ 2, శాంపుల్ కాంపోనెంట్ 2 పెడదాం. డూప్లికేట్స్ ఉంటే ప్రాబ్లం ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, సో ఇక్కడ ఏమీ అవసరం లేదు మెసేజ్, జస్ట్ ఒక సింపుల్ UI క్రియేట్ చేద్దాం అంటే, నథింగ్ ఈజ్ రిక్వైర్డ్. ఏం చేద్దాం ఇక్కడ, జస్ట్ ఒక చిన్న మెసేజ్, ఏం అవసరం లేదు ఇక్కడ. సో జస్ట్ ఏం చేద్దాం అంటే ఇక్కడ మెసేజ్, బటన్స్ ఇవన్నీ ఏం అవసరం లేదు. సో ఇక్కడ ఏం పెడతాం, జస్ట్ చిన్న మెసేజ్ ఏమని పెడతామంటే ఐఎమ్ ఫ్రమ్ కాంపోనెంట్ 2 అంతే, ఇంకేం అవసరం లేదు. జస్ట్ UI, చిన్న UI. Okay, so tell me how we can call this component in component 1.
C colon.
Yeah,
So,
C colon sample component 2.
సో ఇక్కడ C colon sample component 2. అంతేగా, deploy this. Okay, so what we can do is now I'll declare one attribute here. ఇంకొక attribute declare చేద్దాము. సో ఫ్లాగ్ అని పెట్టేద్దాం. సో బులియన్ తీసుకుంటాం. ఓకే, సో డిఫాల్ట్ వచ్చేసి ఫాల్స్. ఏమిద్దాం డిఫాల్ట్? ఫాల్స్. సో I want to display whenever this flag equal to false, I want to display this component. ఎట్లా? ఆ flag false ఉంటే I want to display that component. ఎలా పెడదాం కండిషన్? How we can render it? If that flag is false, then only I want to display it.
Flag
ఎలా?
success. Flag
ఏదన్నా?
success. If else condition.
If else condition. If else handling చేస్తున్నానా? SCS if anything.
RI.
So if, right? What if will do? Whenever something is true, it will display this. So if this flag equals to, if flag equals to true, I want to display this one. So first we will make it true. Okay, deploy this. Flag ఏముంది ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ? It's a flag now.
True.
True or false?
True.
True ఉంటే డిస్ప్లే అవుతుందా కదా? Component 2.
No, sir.
అవుతుందా కదా?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
అవుతుంది. Why? Because of flag. By default value ఏంటి flag? True ఉంది.
Okay.
True.
So whenever I'm clicking this button, a button, submit button, I want to make this flag equal to false. ఎట్లా? Whenever I'm clicking the submit button, what I have to do? ఏం చేయాలి flag ని?
False.
Flag
False.
yes no false. False అంటే
Baahubali.
There is no
కాంపౌండ్ వీఆర్ మేకింగ్ ఫాల్స్ రైట్. ఫాల్స్ అయితే ఏమవుతుంది? కాంపౌండ్ డిస్ప్లే అవుతుంది, డిస్ప్లే అవ్వదా?
No display.
సో ఇట్ విల్ బి హైడ్. ఎస్ ఆర్ నో? అంటే హైడ్ అంటే ఏంటి? రెండర్ అవుతుంది, అది డిస్ప్లే అవ్వదు.
Hmm.
సో వీఆర్ మేకింగ్ రిమూవింగ్ దట్ కాంపౌండ్, డిలీటింగ్. ఎస్ ఆర్ నో? ఎప్పుడు? ఫాల్స్ అయితే. సో అప్పుడు ఏం ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది ఆటోమేటిక్ గా? వి హావ్ సంథింగ్ కాల్డ్ విచ్ వన్ మేడం?
Unrendered.
Unrendered. Something if you remove from the UI level, what will happen? Unrendered.
Unrendered.
Just I'm not sure unrendered is not working, but just will show you example. So ఎప్పుడు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది? కాంపోనెంట్ 5th after all 5th unrendered will execute. This one last time I have tried but not work. We'll try now. So whatever you want to do before, like in case before deleting that component, you want to perform some action, where you can do? You can do before this method, super unrendered like this. Deploy this host to our we'll try now. Refresh. First you need to render, third ఏంటి? After render. Now re-render is executed.
And
Okay. But why it is still showing false అవ్వలేదు? అది డిప్లై చేయాలి కోడ్ ని కాంపౌండ్ ఇది
Deploy చేద్దాం.
డిప్లై చేస్తే అవ్వలేగా. Okay, by default false, by default true, that's what is showing true. You need to render, after render, re-render, right? That's what is showing this flag boolean true ఉందిగా. We that flag false right గానే ఉందిగా. ఎందుకు false అవ్వట్లేదు? సింగిల్ కోర్స్ అవసరం లేదా? We'll try.
Yes, sir. Need.
Boolean కాబట్టి it's not required, I guess. False is not dependent. Component 2 and second component is deleted. False. False. Okay. So by default is true. Always boolean values smaller save చేయాలి. True. So true ఉంటే display అవుతుంది. In case if it is false, how we can put false condition here? How we can use else condition here?
Or else.
Or else.
Or else.
Yes, or else. So if it is true, this. Okay. Ara if is true, ఏది flag. ఏ flag? Flag is true component. Else ఏం కావాలి? ఒక మెసేజ్ డిస్టింక్ట్ మెసేజ్. ఏం చేద్దాం? Component deleted.
Deleted.
Okay. We can leave simple search. Okay, we'll try now. Refresh. Init. Render. After render. Submit. Submit అయిపోయిన ఏమైంది? Flag true. I am making a false. So automatically component 2 is deleted. Okay. But in the console log message is not coming, but it will execute it actually in the background. This one. Okay. And render is not displaying this message, but it will should come. Understand? This is a flow. It is just good only. This is not that much important, but interview parameter is very important. Clear what I'm saying?
Yes.
So this is all about lightning life cycles. So init to render, after render, anything is done, re-render. Last one is what? Unrender.
Unrender.
No, it is not coming. I don't know why it is not coming. Okay. So that is all about lightning components in a Salesforce. Then give a topics. But when it comes to interview, ఏం ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వాలంటే we have some playlist, right? Lightning ఒక playlist ఒక వీడియో ఉంటుంది. I think 47 minutes అయిపోతే వీడియో ఉంటుంది. If you prepare that, that is enough.
మన ఛానల్